Hi, grade 4. Today we're talking about decimals, but specifically our hundredths. So we're going to go over some vocabulary. So we have a decimal, so it's a number that uses a decimal point and place value to separate the whole from the part. So 4.82 would be a decimal. A tenth are sets of 10 equal parts of a whole. So the 8 in 4.82 or 82 is the tenth, and a hundredth are sets of 100 equal parts of a whole. So the 2 in 4.82 is the hundredths. So let's go over some examples here. So we're going to first look at our first box there. There's 100 little squares there, and we're going to have to figure out what the fraction is. So what would our fraction be out of? Well, how many are there in total? I just said it. So there's 100. So 100 would be our denominator. And then how many are that pink color? So quickly count that. How many are pink? 7 of them are. So let's make that into our fraction right away. So we know that there are no whole parts, so it's 0 and then a decimal point. And then because it's out of 100, are there any full tens in that picture? No, there's no tenths that are filled in. So it'd be a 0 in the 10th spot. And then how many are left over? We had 7 of them still filled in. So 7 would be in the 100th position. All right, so now let's look at our second box there. So the white and red. So how many is it out of? So we know it's out of 100, same as before. And how many are red? How many boxes are red? So remember, there's 10 in a full column. So there's 43 that are red. So let's make our decimal point for that. So we have 0 holes and then our decimal point. And then because how many tenths are filled in there? So there's 4 tenths. So 4 would go there because the 40 is a 10. And then how many are left over yet? There's 3 left over. So 3 would go in the hundredths position. So 0.43. And then we have our green square. So how many is it out of again? 100. So that's our denominator. And then what should our numerator be? How many boxes are green? So 26. So let's make that into our decimal. So we have 0 whole parts again, and then our decimal point. How many tens are in there? So there's 2, and then how many ones are left over? So 6, so 0.26. Now let's put it into our place value chart. So we have our tens column, our ones column, and then our decimal points after that, our tenths, and our hundredths. So we don't have any tens for the pink, so we can ignore that. In our ones column, there should be a 0. In our tenths, we said that there was no tenths in it, so that means there would be a 0 there, and there would be a 7 in our hundredths column. Now what about for the red? Do we need anything in the tens column? No. Do we need anything in the ones column? Yes, and what should go there? A 0. And what about our tenths column? What should go there? Our 4, and our hundredths column should be the 3. And then for our green, we have no tens. We have a 0 in the ones column, a 2 in the tenths column, and a 6 in the hundredths column. So now we're going to look at this picture. So we have 2 squares of 100 boxes in each of them. Our first one is completely filled in. Our second one is only partially filled in by pink. So what should our fraction be for this picture? So we know that we have 1 whole, so that means we can put a 1 in front of our fraction. And then how many whole parts are there? So how many boxes in total is there in 1 square? There are 100. And then how many are filled in pink in the second square? 73. So 73 is our numerator. So our fraction is 1 and 73 over 100. And then let's look at our decimal point. So do we have any in our tens column? No. Do we have any in our ones? Should there be something in the ones place? Yes. So we have a whole So it would be 1 decimal point. And then how many tens did we have? We had 7 tenths. And then how many are left over from that in our fraction? Above the 100 would be a 3. So 1.73 would be our decimal. And our word name would be that 1 and 73 hundredths. Because it's over 100, so it's out of hundredths. So 1 and 73 hundredths. All right, grade 4, that's all I have for you today. Bye.